be dealt with Ms. Amany Safwat. Ms. Amany Safwat, our dear sister from Sharqiyya, and we are very pleased here to listen to her topic, and sure we will enjoy her performance if we switch off our vibes or keep it please, no side talks, no leave here during the session, please, not to spoil her performance and enjoy.
Okay. Good afternoon, all of you. I hope that you had a nice break, and just we want to recontinue our sessions for today. I am Amany Safwat Khariba. I'm from Sharqiyya, and I'm really honored to be among all of you today, and we are here just to exchange experiences together. First of all, I'd like to ask you for something. Just put your mobiles on the silent mode, if you please. And there are, over here, there is a parking lot. This is just designed if you want to have any questions, you can pick one stick note of these and put it over there if there are any questions. Now, before beginning, I want to play a game with you. I have drawn this triangle, and I will write the number 2 here, and there I will write Hala, and here Al-Awwal. And I want you to ask me yes/no questions related to these answers. Yes?
You have 2 children?
Yes, Sophia, I have 2 children. Okay, because you know me. Okay, any more questions for this or this?
Is your name Hannah?
Amen. Amen. Yes/no questions.
What do you know about Hala?
Do you have a daughter called Hala?
No, I have no daughters.
Is your sister called Anna?
No.
Is your grandmother?
No.
Is your mother?
Is it first being born?
Who is Hala?
Or,
No, I don't have girls. I just have 2 boys. Yes, mister?
Do you like the name Hala?
Of course, but it's not what I meant to.
Is your friend called Hannah?
Sort of, but no.
is it a dear person?
No.
Is your dearest person called Hannah?
If you have no more questions, I'll consider this a correct one. Hala is the name, thank you, mister. Hala is the name of my teacher, my favorite teacher of English, who made me love being a teacher just like her. She was my role model. And now, let's move to the third one, Al-Awwal.
Is he the opposite?
What?
The opposite of Hannah?
Oh my God, no, no.
Is this your school?
Mr. Salah, go out, go. It is the best place I have worked in, and I learned a lot from being a teacher in Al-Awwal School. So, now, what? What do you think about just beginning our session today about something called reciprocal teaching? Have you ever heard anything about this before? Yes, Mister? Mister, would you?
Mr. Amr as well.
Yes, Mr. Am.
Yes, I think 2 people who agreed to make something like an arrangement to help each other at a certain point.
It's good. It's good. What else?
Is it changing?
Exchanging? Maybe, yes. Anything more?
Teacher role playing.
Teacher role playing, yes.
Teacher may be a student and vice versa.
Okay, what else? You're welcome. Okay, have you ever thought of students who just read and study for the sake of exams? Students who just memorize questions related to the novels or the dramas or whatever, just to write it in the exam, and after leaving the exam room forget everything about it?
The
Just
majority of them.
memorizing?
All the students will you
Yes.
I'm for sure.
Almost all the students
Yes.
do this. Long time ago, Mrs. Hala taught us as students how to enjoy reading, how to prepare something at home, and then go back to school the next day and listen to her questions, trying to get the answers.
learn to fun.
Yes, learning for fun. Now we are after a generation that likes reading. We are after reading, not just for the exam, but for information and for life learning. Okay, so I want you to see this, please. It's entitled Reciprocal Teaching Strategy, Creating Book Detectives. What do you think of a book detective?
Looking through lenses.
A reader who discovers the secrets of
A reader who discovers
the
the
secrets
secrets of a book.
and
Yes?
mechanisms of reading.
Thank you. Yes?
I told you, looking at something through lenses.
Through lenses, yes. To
Playing the
focus.
role of a detective.
Yes, Mr. Muhammad.
Someone predicts about the events or the future.
Someone who searches for the
Predict.
events or predicts. Yes, thank you.
Looking for details.
Looking for details. Else? Yes, Mr.
From an active reader to a detective reader, I think means that he is
تفضل يا مستر.
Mr. Ragab, I'd like to welcome Mr. Ragab Al-Adi, our Sharqiya IG. You're most welcome, Mr. It's my honor. It's my honor. Oh my God, I'd like to welcome Mr. Abdul Khair. At last, finally, I have the opportunity just to be with you. It's my honor and pleasure to be among you today. So, we were just asking about creating book detectives. What is behind this subtitle?
Yes. May I
Yes,
continue?
yes, yes, Mr.
And I think that they are looking for shifts in reading, reading from a different perspective, looking for inferences, looking for the main ideas, the mode of the writer, his own style. Why did he do this? Why did he use this word instead of kind of fiction? An analytical one.
Thank you very much. So now, reading is not just a duty for doing a task. It's just for pleasure and for fun. Okay? Look at these pictures if you please. What's common in these four pictures?
Reading by force.
What about, which is your favorite? Which one is your favorite?
Our favorite, I think it's number one.
Yes, hey, you are threatened. So you have to read and to study. What about the second one? Someone is pushed to read. She hates books and she hates reading as all students. And now, what's, yes, I'm bored. I have just finished the exam, thrown the books away, and every piece of information I have got is totally lost. The result is I hate reading. I never read for the sake of reading. I just read for the sake of exam. And here we go. What is reciprocal teaching? The purpose of reciprocal teaching is to teach students how to love reading, just to be cooperative and to be positive, not just passive learners memorizing everything in the book just to get high. Of course, this helps us as a step for creating a new generation. During reciprocal teaching, there is an interaction between the students. I'll just summarize it as quick as possible. In the reciprocal teaching technique, 4 students are sitting together on a table or so. They are divided into groups of 4, and the teacher at first will be the role model. Every student is asked to make a certain task in the reading process. Someone is summarizing, someone is clarifying, someone is questioning, and someone is visualizing, means almost means predicting. So reciprocal teaching depends mainly on students, not on teacher. Teacher is just a model He's just a facilitator, and everything after this is done by the students. What do you think the benefit behind this is?
This cooperation.
Cooperation.
This helps students to be independent students.
To be
independent learners.
Independent learners. Thank you. Yes.
Involve them in education.
Involves them in education.
Be creative.
To be creative.
Maximize the role of the students and minimize the role of the
Yes.
teacher.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. I have to clap my hands.
Learner-centered classroom.
Yes. Now we are developing a learner-centered classroom. More learner talking time, less teachers talking time. The teacher is just monitoring everything happening inside the classroom. Do you want to add anything else?
This is how to save time in class, and this is a good solution for large classes also.
Yes, I wanted to ask something related to this point. Some teachers tell me that, Amany, we cannot apply this in our classes. I am a primary school teacher, and I teach for almost 50 or 60 students inside the classroom. I apply many strategies, as many as I can. All the strategies are adaptable, or just to be specific, most of them are adaptable. So we can use this. Instead of using 4, we can use 8, we can use 10. We can just vary it in order to suit our own needs. Now, this is an activity. The reciprocal teaching is an activity which involves predicting, questioning, clarifying, and summarizing. You are the teacher, you do almost nothing. You just monitor what is happening inside your class. Someone is going to predict the events. How? First of all, you assign a certain chunk, a language chunk, or a piece of comprehension, or whatever. Now you are asked to read this paragraph. The first student will predict what's going to happen. Okay? Then someone else is going to make questions. Someone is going to clarify. Clarify what? The events. Difficult words using the dictionary or with charts or whatever is needed to clarify the point of view of the writer, and then the last one is going to summarize. You may ask me, so now, Amany, Mr. Abdel Khaliq, Mr. Rajab, and Mr. Rida, we are a group. Amany will predict, and each of them will play another role. So how do we get benefit? After doing this with a paragraph or a page or a certain chunk, we are going to rotate the rules. Amany here will be questioning, Rida will be predicting, and so on. So until the period or the specific time ends, the 4 students will play the different roles, and many certain activities will be covered. Okay.
At the same time, you will feel fun.
Sure. And they will be depending on themselves, not on you as a teacher.
And be involved.
Yes, they will be involved, and this is the secret of success for the next era. We are behind students who search for information, not to be just spoon-fed. Yes, thanks,
That's
Mr.
what we
Finas.
call task engagement.
Yes. Okay. In short, reciprocal teaching is a strategy to help students develop better understanding, encourages interaction, gives benefit in order to help them to dive into the text, not just, all the students, especially ثانوية عامة, just memorize the questions and memorize the quotations and know nothing else.
After the exam, nothing.
Nothing
The
else.
outcome is nothing.
Even the primary school students. I still remember the events of the stories I studied while I was in the primary stage 10 years ago or so. That's it. Okay?
Just 3 years.
No. Okay, mister. Now, what about the ages of the students? Someone may tell me this is not suitable for the primary stage or the preparatory. It's suitable for the secondary. No, it's adaptable, as every technique can be adaptable. They have a new place to sit in, the driver's seat. Now you are the teacher. I am, as a student, I'm the teacher. I'm the one responsible to predict, to summarize, to make questions, and to clarify difficult points. So you wear the hat of your teacher. You wear another mask. Now faces are off. We are exchanging rules. There is a theory by someone called Edgar Dale. He talked about this, and his main point of view was that learners retain, keep more information by what they do, as opposed to what they hear, read, or observe. And our education nowadays depends just on hearing, plain reading, and nothing else. But when I do the thing myself, I will be, yes, I'll be the winner. I want you to look at this. This is the cone of experiences. Who can make any comment about this cone? It's a pyramid, okay? Up there is listening, reading, seeing and hearing. Alaikum salam. Mr. Sayed, you're welcome. Seeing and hearing, observing, discussing, building, constructing, and completing, then teaching. This is the learning activity. And this is the percentage according to
The bigger your share,
yes.
the better
That's-
the better your acquisition is.
I beg your pardon?
Again, the bigger your share
Yes.
in the process of learning, the bigger your acquisition is.
Okay. This is
I mean,
a good
you
point.
started here with listening at the tip of the cone.
Okay. How,
While you are listening,
in percentage was
so 5%.
5%.
So
Yes.
the share here just you are a recipient.
That's
But
okay.
when you are reading, your share is bigger because you use more
Use your
things,
eyes
use your eyes,
and
and you also may listen, but you can also make a more active process. So your share is a bit
Bigger.
bigger. It's 10%. Then when seeing and hearing, you gather two senses together,
yes.
and then by observing, you exert effort. By discussing, you exert much more
Much
effort.
more effort.
And then building, constructing, and completing reminds me of Bloom taxonomy, for example.
Yes.
You are doing more effort, and the result is much more understanding. That gives me 70%. And as for the last one, which is teaching, then you must understand everything better, and you have to digest it in order to be able to give me a better result.
That's
So teaching is the best way, from this point of view,
So-
to produce.
To
Yes.
wrap up.
But I have something to I notice here. It gives for teaching 90%. And I
Yes.
think this is so accurate because nothing gives me 100% ever.
Yes.
So teaching gives me the maximum benefit.
The maximum. I want to show you something. This is considered a oh my god, it's touchable. I like this. I didn't notice this before. This is passive learning. Just listening, reading, seeing, and learning. All of this is considered passive learning. We are moving to active learning by just integrating more and more of our senses and ways to think, observing, discussing, completing things together, and then teaching. Thanks a lot for your great information. That's good. Now, how reciprocal teaching works. As we said before, there are 4 stages: predicting, questioning, clarifying, and summarizing. Now, we use a text as teachers in order to support all these points. For example, I do not choose just some complicated piece of art in order to ask the students to analyze or to make reciprocal reading. So just choose something appropriate and suitable for the age of your students. Use a gradual release method. What is meant by gradual release method? What do you think?
I think that teachers may retreat by step.
Yes.
You can be with them like that of the trainer or the instructor or swimming, for example.
Great.
You can help him and support him for some time, but time by time you remove your
You
hand
remove your
and
hands.
let the stage as a whole for him, for the learner to do whatever he wants. But first you can have a graded guidance.
You draw the roadmap.
Yes, you can with them all the time, then you can be with them only 50% of the time, and then you can be only an observer.
Yes, so just you can be among them and then you disappear after making sure that they digested what they are going to do. Now I want you to meet the fabulous four. Paula the predictor, and Clara the clarifier, Quincy the questioner, and Sammy the summarizer. And we have a video, but for my bad luck, it is not going to work like this, so I have to get back, okay, and show it to you from here.
Howdy there, Connecticut's. My name is Sammy and I'm here to introduce you to my friends. Altogether we are called the Fab Four and we can help you be better readers. Let's get started. First I would like to introduce you to my good friend, Paula the Predictor. Come on in, Paula.
Hello boys and girls. I am so happy to be with you today to introduce myself. My name is Paula the Predictor. My job is to look into the future. I will teach you how to predict the future in your reading, but you must promise not to reveal my secret.
Well, that sounds fantastic, Paula. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Our next guest is a character I'm sure you won't forget. Please welcome Quincy the questioner.
Hello. My name is Quincy the questioner, but just for you guys and gals, I'll let you call me Quincy. I love, and I mean, L-O-V, capital E-E, 2S questions. When I read, I ask myself hundreds of questions. And man, oh man, they are great questions. I can teach you how.
I think we are all pretty excited to learn how to ask questions while we read. Thanks for coming in today, Quincy. We will be seeing you soon.
Thanks for having me, Sammy. Bye, you kids.
I have one more friend for you to meet. This classy little lady's name is Clara the Clarifier. Come on out, Miss Clara.
Greetings, Kennedy students. I am most gracious to you for having me here. My job is to clarify if something is unclear. We all run into tricky spots while reading. Sometimes we need to pause and make sure we understand a section or a word before going on.
Thank you, Clara. We can all use some patience while reading to make sure we really understand what is going on. We look forward to hearing from you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Fairly well, Cubs.
So now, these were the fabulous four. What do you think their jobs were? Woman. Summarize. Okay, Sammy. Summarizes. And predictor. What is the importance of predicting something? Yes.
To look into the future to see how much progress the pupils will achieve.
Okay, this is great.
To plan
Yes.
for unless
To?
maybe to plan for the future.
To plan for the future. Yes, Mr.
Unless the student understands the present, he's not able to predict the future.
Okay, so if we apply this to our text, to the textbooks we are reading, what do you think prediction is beneficial for?
Reader.
Yes? Foreshadowing, yes.
It's a kind of motivator for critical thinking.
Motivating for critical thinking. we are going to think what is going next, and this, you know, make something like splashes of information into our minds, and then we have.
Quincy.
You can have this, mister. It's a present for you. Okay, and who else do we have?
It's something related to creativity.
I beg your pardon, yes?
It makes someone creative, more creative.
It
Think
makes-
what's going to happen in the future.
It makes someone to
Something
think.
related to creativity.
Okay, you can have this. You can have this girl. She's good.
Yes.
She's beautiful.
Because I was jealous.
Okay, I give it. I felt it. I felt it. Okay, and now the last one was the summarizers. Who?
Sammy.
Okay, he does what?
It's just like feedback.
Feedback or a wrapping up of everything. You can have this. Thank you. And now? Now, when I predict, you know this lady who's looking at the future? When I predict, as a student, in the city and in my group, I can use the expressions I think, I bet, I wonder, and I predict, in order to let my friends know that I'm thinking of something which is going to happen. The questioner, for sure, will use who, what, when, where, why, how, and what if. To clarify your part, just try to ask, what do I do when there are words that I do not know? I can, when there are words that I do not know inside the text.
Yes.
I can guess and
Reading context.
to know the context clues or words that can tell me the meaning of this. You're my friend, you can take it. You're my friend, she's my friend, by the way. Okay? And if there are any confusing words, you can consult your dictionary. Okay? Now we are encouraging the students to dig deep into the text.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mr.
وعليكم السلام.
About confusing ideas. Okay, Mr. What do I do when the ideas do not make sense? If you are the clarifier, you have to ask yourself these questions. And when you summarize, to wrap up everything, you can guess what happened using the words first, next, and then in order to show the events in consequence and in a correct one. You can tell them the book was about, for example, Gulliver Travels. The main idea was a big man who shipwrecked on a desert island. And I learned, for example, how to depend on yourself. Okay, we have covered all of this. And I will show you another video in the classroom.
Okay, could I have group one please come up to the table?
At Frank Love Elementary School, reading expert Shira Lubliner shows off a technique called reciprocal teaching that's designed to improve reading comprehension.
Tap, 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 tap. A sea otter lies on her back in the water.
The goal of reciprocal teaching is to prepare students to run their own discussion, taking turns as leaders. But first, Ms. Lubliner shows them how to guide a conversation about a book.
See, my first job is to ask a question. And I'm going to try and ask an important main idea question that starts with a question word. Let's see. What does the sea otter do to prepare lunch?
There is no replacement for a teacher who can generate a good discussion and get kids to really ponder what they've read and the whys and wherefores and connect those meanings to their own lives.
Well, I'm going to predict that we're going to learn some more about what sea otters eat.
Now it's time for the kids to lead their own discussion, with a little help from Ms. Lubliner. The kids begin with the first of 4 clear steps, asking a question.
What do sea otters have to be careful of?
The next step is clarifying the meaning of unfamiliar words.
Fur. It means like somebody likes something better than they like something else. Afloat. Jesse. Afloat means a little bit above the water, and they're floating on the water, not just under it or over it.
The next phase of reciprocal teaching is summarizing, finding the main idea.
Sea otters have a lot of enemies, so they have to be careful of eagles, white, shining sharks, and fishermen.
The final step is prediction.
I predict that we're going to learn more about otters in this story.
Reciprocal teaching promotes a give and take between teachers and students that achieves the ultimate purpose of reading, finding the meaning.
Who wants to make a comment about this video? I want someone to share.
Every student have its role. One summarize, one teaching, one clarify, and the last one is summarize.
Okay, what else? What do you think about the teacher?
Is listening to all of them and they give everyone the chance.
Okay, if I said that, how was the teacher behaving at the beginning of the class?
I like the way the teacher modeled. She gave a good model before starting.
So she began and she was the role model of.
You should give a model before starting
Yes,
an activity.
thank you very much. Now, Mr. You wanted to ask?
Of the video here, they introduced her as an expert in reading. So this is not an ordinary teacher. She's just an expert in this part of teaching.
Okay.
And I quoted 2 words in the video, one at the very beginning and another one at the end of it. And so at the very beginning, the one who commented on the video said that they let students ponder, or let's say contemplate. So it gives the students space of freedom and how to judge something.
To judge something, and what else? To do what else? To
live
to cooperate together, to ask for help from one another. Someone knows the boy with the broken tooth. He said, I think this word meant so and so. So now we are pushing the students to think, to recall the information they knew, and to get new pieces of information.
But I think I only have one thing to add.
Yes, yes, sure.
I think that teachers or experts in reading like this one may have a kind of choice for students' kind, who can be a predictor, another who can be a questioner, according to their own levels, according to their own interests. So when I choose a predictor, I choose someone who can do this role quite well. And when I choose a questioner, I know that this student can do this. But when I use a clarifier or choose him or her, I use someone who is, I think, better at diction and using words and understanding the connotations.
This is wonderful. It's a wonderful addition. But do you think that we as teachers can help students to adapt to other rules? You are the clarifier now. You know many things. Can you help other students to play the same role? Yes. And this is the benefit from working as groups. But thank you very much for the ad. Okay. Now this is how it works. And by the way, you can change the order as you need to. This is not fixed, it's just a model. You can change rules. First of all, there is reduction, reading text segment silently, ask questions, share the clarifications, summarize, switch leaders. What do you think the importance of switching leaders. Help students to be leaders. Okay.
To help the students to experience all the tasks they have.
All the tasks that they have. The new trend of teaching 2.0 is behind creating individuals that are responsible. So now, students are taught during the new curriculum are taught to be leaders of the future. So they are going to predict, to think, to apply critical thinking everywhere, to deduce information. And this is one of the important points, to switch leaders, to teach students how to be responsible for something. So they are not dependent. They are always independent and responsible.
Democracy.
Yes. Okay, now, your role as a teacher is to introduce the day's text, build background knowledge, and set a purpose for reading. Of course, no reading is done with the reason, yes, haphazardly. You have to get a certain aim behind this piece of reading. Engage all groups in prediction. What do you think is going to happen? For example, if you are teaching Snow White. Snow White left her home and went to the woods. Now, you're going to predict. What do you think Snow White is going to do? Will she follow the rules? Will she obey her mom? Would she be afraid of something? Would the wolf eat her? You can let the students predict. Then you have to tell them to read a chunk or a piece of literature and to identify the words and the sentences, and they can just share this together. Then each student can formulate and ask one question and give it to the questioner, for example. And the last thing is that each group will summarize the text they read, and after that they can share this together with the whole class. Okay? Now, we want to move, because I'm running out of time, we want to move from people who hate reading to a slogan for our classes. We love reading, our class loves to read, and we love books. This is one of our dreams. Now, do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Sure? Are you sure?
Big thank you.
Thank you, you're welcome. You are to be thanked for just to be with me.
I think the details that you skip are so important, so you can learn now.
Okay, if you want, I'm running out of time, but if you want to take the presentation, for sure you can. Okay? I have these. If you want me to share them with you, Sophie, you can share them. Thank you very much. You can share them. You're most welcome. Thank you. Thank you.